What's happening, everybody? It's your boy Akeen, and welcome to today's vlog. Sorry that I have been gone for the past week. I was on a little bit of a vacation, but now I'm back in full effect. And I'm here to give you the top players for all the major positions of the NFL fantasy football play. For this video, I need to talk about the top 10 quarterbacks this season in fantasy football play. Now, this year, we had 10 quarterbacks who passed for over 4,000 yards this season. 3 of them passed for over 5,000 yards, and one quarterback, Drew Brees of the New Orleans Saints, had a record-breaking year, surpassing Dan Marino. Now, before I head to Drew Brees, I need to talk about all the top 10 quarterbacks this season in fantasy football play. At number 10, Mark Sanchez of the New York Jets. He had a good, productive year, numbers-wise, 3,400 yards passing this year with 26 touchdowns and 18 interceptions. He had a scary year, though, in fantasy play because every time he threw the football, nobody was pretty sure what he was going to do throwing the football. If he was going to throw a touchdown pass, an interception, good productive yardage in passing, but he had a good year overall if you look at the numbers, even though the Jets struggled as a team this season under Coach Rex Ryan. At number 9, Philip Rivers of the San Diego Chargers. He had a struggle. He struggled this season with 27 touchdown passes with 20 interceptions. Bad touchdown-interception ratio compared to years before. But he still had a good year, especially in that second half. And I think he's going to have a better year next season. I think this was his slump year, but I think he's going to bounce back next year. He still made the top 10, and I have to give him his props with that. I actually had him at number 6 before the beginning before the first game of the season. At number 8, Matt Ryan of the Atlanta Falcons. Now, this quarterback still has not passed for over 30 touchdown passes in one season. He was just one touchdown shy this season with 29 touchdown passes. But I think he's going to pass for over 30 touchdown passes in a season in the future, especially having Julio Jones in the receiving corps alongside Brody White. If these two players stick together, I think Matt Ryan's going to pass for over 30 touchdown passes and maybe making it into the Super Bowl in the future if they all stick together and work hard. At number 7, Tony Romo of the Dallas Cowboys. 31 touchdown passes and just 10 interceptions. But the Dallas Cowboys just failed on making it to the playoffs this season, losing to Eli Manning, who is number 6 in quarterback play for fantasy football. He passed for just under 5,000 yards, 4,933 yards passing, leading the Giants to an NFC Championship against my San Francisco 49ers. At number 5, Matthew Stafford of the Detroit Lions. This year, he finally emerged and showed why he's that number 1 overall pick we saw a couple years back in the NFL draft. He's one of the 3 quarterbacks who passed for over 5,000 yards this season with Calvin Johnson as his leading receiver. I'm very proud of this kid, leading the Detroit Lions to the playoffs, losing to the New Orleans Saints. At number 4 was a shocker this season, Cam Newton of the Carolina Panthers. He led all quarterbacks in rushing yards, 704, and 14 rushing touchdowns to go along with 21 touchdown passes and over 4,000 yards passing this season. He is obviously the offensive rookie of the year this year in the NFL. At number 3, Tom Brady of the New England Patriots. 39 touchdown passes with just 12 interceptions. He passed for over 5,000 yards this season with 5,200 yards overall this year. And I think he had a great productive year heading into the ACC Championship against the Baltimore Ravens. He's one of the quarterbacks that some people are arguing of who should win that MVP trophy. At number 2, Drew Brees of the New Orleans Saints. He surpassed Dan Marino for most passing yards in the season with 5,476 yards passing and leading the NFL with 46 touchdown passes this season. I really like this guy. He has a great argument of winning that MVP trophy. But the number 1 quarterback this season belongs to Aaron Rodgers, who I believe is the MVP this year. He broke the record for best passer rating in the season with 122 passer rating this year to go with just under 5,000 yards passing with 4,600 yards passing this season to lead that Packers offense, who was almost undefeated going towards the end of the year before they lost to the Kansas City Chiefs and then later in the playoffs to the New York Giants. This is a great quarterback. He's a good dual threat, a very underrated dual threat. He's a great pocket passer, and he's actually emerging into a league of his own, becoming a good dual threat quarterback and understanding the players around him and using all the weapons that he had in that Packer offense. Sorry that they haven't made it to, they're not in the playoffs anymore, but they're the one team that everybody should be scared of next season. Now, overall, this year was a great year. Now I have to give you my sleeper this year, belonging to Cam Newton of the Carolina Panthers. Nobody thought that he was going to do this well this season, especially in his first year as a rookie. Now, a lot of people are understanding Robert Griffin III and evaluating him for this season's NFL draft because of the emergence of Cam Newton this season, as well as Michael Vick. I think the quarterback position is going to be revolutionized, and more teams wanting a dual threat quarterback because of what we've been seeing with Cam Newton and Michael Vick. So a lot of people should definitely look at Robert Griffin III for this year's NFL draft, and I think it's going to be very interesting. But Cam Newton was that sleeper this season. A couple of honorable mentions for sleeper of the year: Ryan Fitzpatrick, who I had as my sleeper this year of the Buffalo Bills. He passed for over 20 touchdown passes. He had a good productive year. And Alex Smith of the San Francisco 49ers. Not this year, but last year I had him as my sleeper, especially passing for just 18 touchdown passes and 12 interceptions 2 years ago. Last year I had him as my sleeper, but he dropped his stats again. But under coach Jim Harbaugh, he had a great productive year, over 100 passer rating as a quarterback, leading the San Francisco 49ers to the NFC Championship against the New York Giants. Now, this season's NFL bust at quarterback in fantasy football play belongs to Josh Freeman of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He had a terrible year, especially coming off a 10-win season last year, and he was actually my number 10 quarterback coming into this season. 16 touchdown passes with 22 interceptions. Raheem Morris had been fired as head coach for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and Freeman needs to develop into a better quarterback. He needs to mature. I thought he was going to mature this season, especially coming off a 10-win year, but he had a bust this season. Now, the next time I'm going to catch you guys is a little bit later on today to give you another top 10 video of the top 10 running backs of fantasy football. Thank you for watching this vlog from Pro Football Exclusive. I'm your man, the famous Akeem McCall. Be easy.